I'm Drew.
And I'm Sarah, and we've been married for 14 years. I was 19, Drew was 21 when we got married, and we didn't really know what to do.
Sarah and I essentially became adults together because we got married so young. If you looked at any personality quiz or temperament study or love language or anything you want to look at, Sarah and I are probably the pair most likely to get divorced. After 8 years, we were exactly where we were in year one, or close to it at least. Except after 8 years, we had 2 kids. That creates another pressure and another set of expectations. I would say I've always been a present father and someone who's always supported my kids. But they were first. I was second, or third, because we had 2, and then Sarah was last. So you can't have a marriage like that. One of the low conversations that we had, we were so low that we were so exhausted with fighting that at 3 o'clock in the morning we sat up in bed and had a logical, calm conversation about whether or not we could get divorced. It was genuine from the standpoint of, does God allow for a path for us to get out of this?
We could not find any justification in Scripture for breaking that covenant, and we looked for it.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't find anything, so we thought, well, the only way out is through, so we're just going to keep going with this. But
what did I do the next day?
He called and he said, do you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings?
Drown in your sorrow and mango habanero.
After we just said, we don't want to do this anymore, we don't have any affection or love really for one another. We want out of this, we can't find a loophole, we've looked for one, do you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings? I was speaking with another woman of God about marriage who is super intense. And she looked at me and said, all you have to do is die. I have thought of that moment and that advice hundreds of times in the years since then, and I think that she's right. Starting out, our outlook was very much, what are you going to do to make me happy? We don't really think that way anymore. Instead, it's, how can I honor you? How can I esteem you higher than myself? How can we glorify God together? And that has transformed everything.
Yeah. The second you stop looking at your spouse as someone that can fix you, you're much better off. When you remember who Christ is from eternity, and you remember what he did, if you're not struck by humility, then I don't think you're looking at your faith right. So that's how Christ does it. Practically, what does it look like?
All you have to do is die.